Welcome to Latte with a Lawyer, a podcast dedicated to bringing you the stories of some of America's most successful lawyers, figuring out what makes them tick, how they creatively solve problems, and how others aspiring to be them can follow in their footsteps.
Okay, great, guys. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Latte with a Lawyer. I'm your host, Jonathan Brickman, and we've got a cool guest this afternoon. She goes by Sam Abukhodeir from the firm, the Florida Probate and Family Law Firm. And
you got it.
Yeah, excellent. I struggle with those long names, but welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, excellent. So I start this off every time, but to keep with the theme of the show, I've already had 3 cups of coffee. What's your favorite morning beverage to get started?
I literally just left a coffee marketing meeting. I had a cappuccino, but my favorite is what's called a cortadito, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly because I'm not very good at Spanish.
Okay. And so, but describe what that is. Probably a very strong coffee.
It is. So I'm down here in Miami, Florida. There is a strong Hispanic influence and specifically Cuban. So it's an espresso with some milk and sugar.
Excellent. And how many of those do you have a day?
Why are you asking me these questions?
I know. I'm just teasing you. I just want to have some fun with it.
No, don't worry.
I have to have at least 3 strong cups of coffee.
I'm at 1 to 2 a day.
Okay, good. All right. Enough of the coffee. So tell us about your firm and what kind of law you guys practice.
Sure. So I started the firm about 4 years ago. 4 years will be in September of this year. And we practice, half of my practice is family law, which means divorce, child custody, paternity, prenups, postnups, domestic violence, think anything family related.
Sure.
And then the other 50% is what's called probate law, which everyone's like, what does that mean? But that is estates, so inheritance disputes, guardianship, which means when somebody's incapacitated, think an abuela, a grandmother who has dementia or Alzheimer's and needs somebody to take care of her, and then estate planning and Medicaid planning. Excellent.
Yeah, no, I've had a few family lawyers here, and it's interesting. So you mentioned prenup. I had a guest here last week, and she's on the other coast. She's in LA, which is similar to Miami in some respects. And what she said to me, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this, that many people are doing prenups now. That's like more routine than it used to be.
It is more routine. And although it's an uncomfortable topic for most people, because the significant other would think, you don't trust me. That's why you're asking me to sign something before we get married. But it's actually the opposite. You're protecting yourself, you're protecting them. And you're making sure that if anything, God forbid happens, everything's in writing and there's not going to be any confusion. And if there are children, for example, you're not dragging the children in over this dispute. It protects everyone. It makes it a lot cheaper. Instead of spending money on attorneys like us, you're actually investing it into your family, your kids. There's multiple benefits to having it.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And this person was doing very high net worth people. So big estates, and gave an interesting example about how somebody wanted to carve out something and it ended up becoming a very successful business. So I don't know if you have stories like that.
We do. So we have a number of high net worth celebrity clients. And so these documents, prenups and postnups, really come in handy and save them a ton in attorney's fees and a ton in time and headache. So, for TV stars, that's a big deal. They want things to stay confidential. They don't want the case to drag out in court for years. And so we've been able to basically keep them out of court and make sure that everything is taken care of before they get married.
Yeah. So I take it you didn't handle Johnny Depp and.
I wish. That trial is everything right now.
Right. I mean, so that's the antithesis of what you're describing, right?
Correct. He should have. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm going to be very direct, like I usually am. He should have had everything in writing. This is not the divorce proceedings. These are defamation allegations and, everything related to that. But in his divorce decree, there should have been something specific about this type of case. And unfortunately, it wasn't there, because you never guess that, somebody that you're marrying will do something like this. So it's hard.
Yeah. No, listen, I imagine this is a difficult conversation. I mean, listen, I'm married and I certainly didn't have a prenup. And I think for the average person outside of the celebrity, ultra high net worth, those are probably not easy conversations. At least it wasn't for me.
No, and they're not normal conversations.
Right.
So, people without high net worth assets would not think to sit down and speak to their future spouse about this. But the reality of it is the majority is not high net worth. So these are the conversations we should be having. We should make them normal, and we should be comfortable having them. You shouldn't be afraid to have this conversation. And if you do, maybe you shouldn't be marrying this person.
Okay, good enough. So how'd you get started, and why this type of work?
Definitely not the work that I thought I would get into. Wanted to be a doctor, like my dad growing up, and then decided I wanted to get married and have a kid and have kids, and that the doctor life wasn't for me. I'm actually getting married next week, and don't have children, so it didn't work out that way.
Okay.
But decided to take the LSATs in undergrad. Did okay, got into law school, decided I wanted to do humanitarian work. I'm from, my family's from Jerusalem. So the Middle East, there's a lot of tension. And so I had always thought, I'm going to do some nonprofit work, work with children in the foster care system and orphanages. That was my dream going into law school. Got an internship with the administrative probate judge in my last year of law school, and it just took off from there. I got a job in a firm, and then I haven't looked back.
Oh, but you're not Israeli, right? Are you Israeli?
No, I'm Palestinian, actually.
Yeah, Palestinian. I was going to say that. So, but you lived in Jerusalem.
So I was born and raised in Central Florida, but my parents were both born in Jerusalem. My father was raised in Egypt because of the war. And then my mother's family stayed in Jerusalem. So they're a special class that still resides in Israel.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that's very interesting. I mean, that's a whole other discussion. My son was bar mitzvahed in Jerusalem.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Wow, that's really cool. Where in Jerusalem?
Well, right at the hotel on the Western Wall.
Wow. Okay.
So we walked right through the center of Jerusalem and ate at an Arab market, and had some a great like pita, hummus, the whole shawarma, the whole deal.
Falafel.
Yeah, went to the whole typical kind of 2 weeks in Israel. Watched the baptism in the Jordan River, went up north, went to the Dead Sea, did the whole thing. So it's an amazing place, obviously, and
it's the most beautiful place in the world. And it's just it's really sad with the situation, but it's a beautiful place with people who get along, and hopefully there will be peace one day.
We hope for that. That's all we can hope for, right?
Right.
But no. I mean, listen. There's plenty of Palestinians or non-Jews that work and prosper and do fine in Israel. So, contrary to what other people may think. So, I saw that firsthand. But anyway, that's very interesting. So, but I saw in your biography too that you also are you involved with Sharia law? It looks like that's part of your practice too.
Yeah. So in South Florida, there is a large Muslim community. Although we practice all over the state of Florida, actually. So in Central Florida, North Florida, there's a large Muslim community. So a part of our practice is estate planning, which is in compliance with Sharia law. So we have those conversations and we see if it's something that we can make work in accordance with Florida law, because Florida law, of course, trumps. So that is an area that we focus in.
Yeah.
The same, I'm gonna go on for a second. The same with I'm blanking on the term, but we have a lot of clients who are Jewish and actually Israeli.
Orthodox. You have the same
Correct.
kind of.
Correct. The head of my family department is Brenda Shapiro, and she's Jewish. So we have a cultural mix of clients. So we have also an expertise in the get. And that's a very fascinating area to dive into in South Florida.
You must have some interesting conversations at the cocktail parties, I would imagine.
We do. And we cover all religions at the firm. We cover most cultures. And so it's really diverse, and it's important because you don't want clients to feel like their cultures are not understood in a divorce or in a probate action. So it's fun.
Yeah, no, I bet. And particularly with the sort of overlay of Florida politics on top of that. I mean, that must make it quite interesting.
It does. And where are you located?
I'm in Delray Beach right now.
Okay. So you've been down to Miami Beach, and
sure.
there's a prominent community of Orthodox Jews. So, we get a lot of questions regarding those types of proceedings, and I'm happy that we can help and help them understand that we understand the cultural implications.
Yeah. No, I would imagine that's important. So I'm like, give me like sort of run of the mill. Is there a typical kind of case that you work on?
So since 50% of my firm is family law and the other 50% is probate law, our two most needed areas are divorce, unfortunately, and death. So the double Ds. So with that, we see a lot of people that are going through very tough times, and usually we help them through the process of the divorce proceedings, help them understand what Florida law and Florida statute says about divorce proceedings. And then also, help people that are going through deaths in their family. And sometimes, again, unfortunately, these areas connect. So somebody might have a death in the family and then come see us years later and say, Sam, I think that, I need to talk about a divorce proceeding or a paternity action, for example.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it sounds like you almost have to be a therapist in what you're doing.
That's our full-time job. You hit it on the head.
Yeah. No, I think my dad was a doctor, and I think he spent 50% of his time giving therapy to the patients.
Unfortunately, when people are going through issues like this, it's difficult because they just want to be heard, and they want to make sure that somebody understands what they're going through. And they don't teach you that in law school. They don't tell you that 95% of our job is listening to people and ensuring them that we're gonna hold their hand and make sure everything's gonna be okay in court.
Right. So you're dealing with some obviously very sensitive times and stuff. Are there any like really memorable cases that you worked on that kind of illustrate your, what you guys do?
Yes. So we've had, without breaking confidentiality. So right now we're actually this wouldn't break confidentiality. We just premiered on Discovery Plus on a show called Fight or Flight. Where we help a local nonprofit organization with their cases involving domestic violence disputes. So we've had a number of cases, some of them highlighted on the show, where clients have asked us to represent them in domestic violence actions and divorce actions. So those are two separate cases. And with that, the show basically, followed us, watched the trials, watched the cases, watched the evidentiary hearings, watched our conversations with clients. And we were luckily able to help a lot of our clients, reach a resolution and come to either a settlement or, a favorable result in those hearings.
Oh, good. Excellent. Oh, that's cool. So you're a TV star too.
Not not yet. And I don't know if that's the look we're going for, but we were approached and we said we would be happy to show what we do. Because the other thing is lawyers have a bad rep. Like, you want people to see how hard we work and what goes on behind the scenes, because we're known for, unfortunately, requiring a lot of money and not always getting the results that clients want. And people don't understand everything that goes on and how many hours we work. And not just the attorneys, but my team, who are not all attorneys. We sacrifice a lot to make sure our clients are taken care of.
Yeah, for sure. How many people in the firm? How big is the firm?
Somewhere around 25.
Okay. You growing? The practice is growing?
We're growing really fast. That's why I get shy, but
Sure.
I shouldn't be shy. I'm very proud. And I need to work on that. But we've grown in the past, it's almost 4 years. We've grown from just me and a part-time law clerk to now almost probably 25 employees.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you'd be shy about that. That's a good accomplishment.
Thank you.
But so you're entrepreneurial because, right, starting a practice, you're relatively young, and so you have a good business entrepreneurial spirit to do that. Where did that come from?
Well, I don't have a business background, never taken a business class, and didn't actually set out a goal of starting my own firm, but the opportunity came up. And my fiance helped me or gave me the push to see that this is something that I should do, because he saw it in me. I didn't see it in myself. And so I just decided to go for it and type A. So if I set myself out for something, it's going to happen and I'm going to do it well. And so I started off just trying to figure it out on my own. And now I use a company called How to Manage a Small Law Firm, who helps me with the coaching aspect of
Nice.
running a firm.
Nice. What kind of services do they provide?
So they do 4 quarterly meetings where about 500 to 1,000 law firms from around the nation and Canada come together, and they talk to us about marketing, mindset, business plans, marketing plans, all sorts of stuff. But then in addition to those 4 conferences a year, we're able to have coaching from a CEO, COO, CFO, or CMO on specifically law firm related business.
Got it. Yeah, interesting. No, there's a lot of services like that just for the legal industry. Marketing, coaching, like you were talking about. There's a ton of legal tech. We're a legal tech vendor, so it's interesting. So you're using, that's good actually too, because a lot of people will shy away from, to use your word, using professional services to help. So it's good that you're leveraging that.
Yeah, and I only started using them maybe 2 years ago. So the first 2 years I was just trying to figure it out on my own. And the last 2 years I've been able to grow a lot quicker because of that coaching.
That helped. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the limit? Because, as you get bigger, then you have other things you got to worry about. You got to manage people, you got to have more process, right? It's not so easy. It's different.
Correct. So I went from working on the legal matters I was working 100% of the time on the legal matters, doing the marketing, doing the hiring, the firing, the payroll, all that kind of stuff, to now only doing about 5% of legal work. And that's usually on my high profile clients, to now managing 95% of the time.
Oh, interesting. So you pulled out of the day-to-day legal work. Interesting. Okay. And do you like that better?
I do. I love the business side of things.
Interesting. So, but again, that's probably better for you because you have more leverage. If you can distribute the load, then it allows you to manage your time better.
Correct. And I've realized, even though I've never taken a class in business, I'm good at numbers. I'm good at the hiring. I'm good at, figuring out the business plan, the marketing plan, and figuring out the big picture ideas and executing on them.
Yeah. Well, you'd probably be good for like an executive MBA program. You'd be the perfect candidate for it if you just wanted this,
I
more of
might do
those.
it for fun.
I mean, you're living it. I mean, I went through that MBA program, but you're living it, and there's nothing like actually being in the trenches doing it yourself to sort of figure that stuff out.
Did you enjoy it? Can I ask you?
Yes, very much. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was an engineering student where I got started in life, and I made the switch to business, and so I went back and got an MBA, and I found that really good and interesting and helpful.
That's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
good to know, because I've been considering it, but with time it's hard. But I'm glad you've told me that. That's great
Yeah.
advice.
In fact, I met somebody. We were at Emerge America show in Miami a few weeks ago, and they had a booth there. Babson, which is a Boston, very good business school from Boston, had a booth there at the show, and they are in Miami, and they have an executive MBA program.
Okay, good to know.
So,
Very good to know, because I've been going back and forth on deciding whether I should do it or not, and I appreciate that advice.
yeah, I mean, it may be worthwhile. I don't know. You seem like the type of person that would get a lot out of it, and would offer a lot to the class. The one thing, a lot of we're really going on a tangent here, but a lot of students will go right from undergrad and get an MBA, this 5-year program, which I highly discourage because you have no experience, right? But when you've been out working and actually been in business, then you go back into that setting, it becomes a really vibrant environment where people share real world ideas, and it's really interesting as opposed to just going straight through the curriculum, because the curriculum, whatever, it's the real life case studies that really make the classroom interesting.
Good to know. I know this is a tangent. My assistant is actually debating whether to go to law school or get her MBA. And so I'm going to tell her, I'm going to have her watch our podcast.
Or you can have her call me. I'll give her my advice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'd be happy to. But so let me ask you a question. Do you go to have trials? Do you litigate? You do?
Yes. So about, I would say 80% of our firm is litigation.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. So litigation is basically when anyone's fighting. So in our family practice, the majority is fighting, unless it's a prenup or a postnup, for example, right? And then in probate, you have inheritance disputes. So people are fighting over mom and dad's money or grandma and grandfather's money.
Yeah.
So no, the majority of our firm is litigation. And in terms of whether we go to trial or not, the majority of our probate practice, we go to trial, but we usually settle out because our clients decide it's not worth going through.
Sure.
But we have gone to trial many times. And then on our family practice, we go to trial a lot because people are not willing to settle.
Jury trials?
No, these are bench trials.
Bench trials. Okay. Got
Yep.
it. So never a jury trial.
Probate is having their first jury trial now, ever, for the former chief judge of Miami-Dade County, and then family. We have never had a jury trial.
Oh, interesting. And so, and how do you prepare? I mean, do you prepare for a bench trial like you would any other kind of trial where you're testing your argument and getting feedback?
Correct. So
you are.
Yeah, you prepare the same way. You make sure that you have all your evidence in order, which is the discovery process. You make sure you have the financial affidavits. You make sure you have any contracts that could sway the judge one way or another. And you make sure you have your case law and your legal statute to make sure that the judge understands what the law is and follows it. Because you also have a court reporter just in case they don't follow it, and then you have to appeal.
Okay. And is there like with the jury, is there any like emotional sort of influencing going on there with the judge?
Did you say emotional?
Yeah. Meaning to those kind of, is that important to sort of persuade or influence the outcome?
You definitely want to have a good reputation in the legal community, which thankfully we do. You want the judge to know that you are an extremely honest and hardworking law firm. And you want to make sure that the judge trusts the law and the statute that you're putting in front of them, and that your arguments are valid, and that your client is telling the truth. So these are all things that we talk to our clients about and make sure that they understand that, you know, it's a reflection of our firm just as much of themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And we basically make sure that the judge knows that we're doing the absolute best job that we can to make sure that they make a fair decision.
Okay, interesting. What is it? We're a technology company, so how much technology and what's your view on using technology for legal industry and just your firm?
I like to still consider myself a young attorney.
You are very young.
So for the younger attorneys coming up, I
Yes.
think the tech world is going to blow their firms up. I think for
Blow them up. Wait, in a good way or
in a great way.
in a great way? Okay, because I'm not sure
Yes.
how you use that word. Okay, in a great way.
Sorry, it's going to be very lucrative for them.
Okay, okay.
In other words, for the attorneys that are in the next older generation, I think that it's hard for them to understand how the tech world will help them. But, you know, we basically, you know, we're trying to get into it, and we're trying to make sure that we're using the resources and, you know, everything that we need to be ahead of the game. And I think that that's where the key is right now.
Okay, give me an example, like what you use.
So we use practice management software that helps us track our cases, track the number of hours we're working, and see if we're profitable or not on what we're charging. So that, for me, you find an old school attorney who's still keeping their time on a legal notepad.
Yeah.
And so it's like, or attorneys that don't keep their time at all. So they don't even know if, you know, with that technology, you're able to track things that people are not tracking.
Okay, so you're analyzing your practice more is what you're saying. You're doing some data science analyzing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, good. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think without exception, everybody I've talked to is using technology more than they used to and trying to embrace it. But you're right. Younger attorneys definitely are more progressive with it for sure. I agree. Anyway, so this has been it's been a good discussion, and I know we're all busy, so I'm going to let you get back to being a lawyer and running your growing practice. If someone wants to get in touch with you and learn more about your business, what's the best way?
Sure. So our website is www.flpfl.com. And our phone number is 305-677-5119. And our email address is info@flpfl.com.
Excellent. Okay, good. So thanks again for being with us. Again, we had Sam Abukhodeir from the Florida Probate and Family Law Firm. And this has been sponsored by EmotionTrac. And we are a legal tech company, and we have an AI-powered focus group platform that helps lawyers prepare for mediation and trials. Thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You bet.